Hello, guys. I'm still kind of getting a few watches out, so bear with me. I'm going to get some Microbrand watches out onto the table so we can look at them. Some of these might fall over, hopefully not. There's some brands I have here that are questionable whether they're microbrands. So I'll let you guys weigh in. Some of these are like survival brands, like Olik and Waz. That's not really a microbrand, is it? It's kind of like I don't know if it's a gray area or what that would be. Like, is Fortis a microbrand? Is Unimatic a microbrand? Is Zodiac a microbrand? Zodiac isn't a microbrand. That can't be right because they're owned by Fossil. It's bigger. I'll get some Zelos out. Yeah, those are like revival brands, or so I'm gonna try to just stick with. Yeah, I don't know that Squale would be a microbrand either. So that's where like some of that's. I don't even want to say debatable. It's a Resurrection brand. So here's one Zelos right there for Dane. I know it's off to the side, but there's one. And then there's different levels within the microbrand world, even, how large the company might be, but they could still be classified as a microbrand, right? And Zelos is probably at that level where they do so many and they've sold so many and everything. Well, there you go, Todd. That could be it. Microbrand versus independent brand. That would be, I think, the next step. And that's a transition that I think a lot of the brands want to achieve. Let's see. Some of these are going to be out of frame. Skirfa's a microbrand. Skirfa. How about I suppose Vario could be a microbrand? Would we call a Vario a microbrand, I guess? I'll throw this out there. Actually, I have a couple of. Yeah, Helm would definitely be one, says Eric. Vario and Vera. I don't have any Vera, but I have a couple of Vario. I don't know that. Let's see. Notice for sure is. All right, so we got that one. Gonna keep falling down. I'm definitely gonna run out of room. There's a. Okay, how about Jonathan Seiko says, is San Martin a microbrand? I would see again. That's like a gray area, right? I don't know. Those are homage brands. I don't know. That one gets a little weird. You know, here's a Dorenzo, Phoebus, yeah. Here's a Nomadic. Dorenzo. Here's another Dorenzo. We'll set it over here. Probably not too good in frame. Armanta and Formex Microbrands. I don't know. Borealis, of course. I have a couple of Borealis out here. Would a Jack Mason? Would Jack Mason be a Microbrand? How about a Richard Harvey? We're getting a pile going here. How about a Jeannot? Would a Jeannot be Microbrand? Or forget what this brand is too. I always forget. These are like out of frame anyway. All right, let's see. Oh crap. Oh, I forgot a whole other case. This isn't gonna work, guys. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Jack Mason, yeah. Cincinnati Watch Co. over there. The Draken. I guess we can go back to there with that. Yeah, this is insane. I want more orange on the table. I don't know that I have a whole lot more orange. Let's move. Some of these guys are going to have to go. There's a Wolves of Odin. All right, I'm going to sit down for a little bit. Because that is plenty of watches, I think, to put on the table. Starting to bury them underneath. You can't even see them. So, but I think you're starting to get that's another Zelos. Let's see. Here's another Draken. And there's a bunch more watches, guys. This is just wanted to put out a sample. And also, you know, so we're going to talk about Microbrands, how awesome they are and how much I like them. I mean, heck, I even wore, what kind of stimulated me to talk about it was I wore the Notice Retrospect 1 of 1 today, and was thinking how great Microbrands are for so many reasons, right? You get a lot of unique designs. You get some designs that look similar to other very popular designs as well. And then sometimes you get them mashed together where you get that really cool familiar design also mashed up with some new twist. You get the opportunity to meet and hang out with the owners potentially if you go to these watch shows. Yeah. So, and then you get spec heavy stuff. Yeah, Jim's wearing his Draken Tagula today. Awesome watch. Draken's a great brand. I have actually have a few more Draken. I don't have any more room. I mean, I could just keep piling them, I guess, but like legit, it would actually be a pile. And I don't want to do any more of a pile than what I have going on right now. So let me read Scott's comment here. I personally am not interested in microbrands, but I'm interested in handcrafted small batch independents. That is also very, very cool. And then you could even expand on that and you could just go with independent brands, like Unimatic or Olik and Waz, um, or even Fortis. They don't have a parent company and they still have some heritage or they're building heritage. I think that's really cool too. And that is just outside of the microbrand world. And I think a lot of these microbrands hope to achieve that level, or maybe not. Maybe they're fine with operating within their space. So, but I like all of those. Because for example, I have my Olik and Waz right here. I have the Fortis right here. I have my Unimatic, I have my Zodiacs, and I like all these watches. I think they bring a lot to the table for the price points. A lot of the entry level microbrands point out the dramatic diminishing returns that often are, in front of us. And I try not to get hung up in that. I read it in my comments all the time when I post up videos of watches that are more expensive than what people want to pay for them based on their specs. There's more to a price point on a watch than how much the crystal cost or how much the movement cost. There's so much more involved with the whole process. Um, I don't want to do it. I've never done it. But I am sure starting a watch brand is very challenging. And a lot of them fail. And quite frankly, a lot of them that exist right now are going to fail. That's just the reality of it. Nobody really wants to talk about it because you don't want to name names or anything like that. But it's pretty obvious to me for the short time that I've been into it. I've already watched some brands fizzle out, not fold, because for the most part the owners of those brands already had a day job and this was a side project sort of thing, and they just it didn't get a return on investment, so they just kind of let it fizzle out. Let's see. I'm sure it's a lot of starting at microbrewery. The market is saturated and it's tough. 100%. To be able to stand out and offer a product that meets sales numbers. I mean, so think about this. There's a reason why Sea Stern and San Martin, they are killing it. They are selling so many watches. Why do you think that is? Because they offer a price point that is very approachable and a product that is very familiar. So as many haters are out there on those brands for what they're doing, there's probably tenfold, if not even more, people that are buying those and enjoying them because they were able to buy them. They were able to buy them both because they're affordable and they're available. Studio Underdog, yep. Hello, everyone, and holy watches. Yes, there's a couple watches out on the table. Which is part of the problem? So there's some side conversations going on. Tillier watches die. They have never restocked after their first batch. And that happens, Tim, with a lot of brands. You'll see it, whether it's a Kickstarter or something else. They start up and they might even have a great product. It just doesn't resonate throughout the entire community for whatever reason, whether it's an inventory thing or restock, or if they were going to change the colorway a little bit and revamp it and redo it, or whatever logistics get involved that end up making it so that brand fizzles out. It happens a lot, and it's going to continue to happen, and it's unfortunately going to happen to probably brands that I really like. Brave Sailor with the $2 here super chat says heritage separates microbrands from revival brands. Yeah, essentially, that is the big thing. The weird part about that scenario, though, is, for me anyway, from the way my brain works, is sure, say I guess I can pick on these guys. Sure, Oleg and Waz has history, but the brand name has history. Nothing from the modern day watch or sales carry the history up with it. It's just something that we allow to be assigned to the brand name as watch enthusiast. We're like, okay, it's Oleg and Waz. They've been around forever. It's like, well, no, they haven't. They floundered. They actually went out of business, all that stuff, and then they were revitalized. Or I don't know if that's exactly the timeline that happened to Oleg and Waz, but the current Oleg and Waz is not entirely tied to the history of Oleg and Waz, if that makes sense. It's more of a we're buying the nostalgia of it, even though I don't have any history with Oleg and Waz. I haven't been into watches long enough to have owned an older Oleg and Waz and be like, oh, cool, I really like this new stuff. I just like this new stuff. Period. I don't really care about the history of it. To be frankly honest with you guys, I legit don't care about the history of a brand for the most part. Sure, it might weigh in a little bit here and there, but only if I allow it to. Other than that, I'm fine with a brand new company starting up today and having that connection with the owner or the team and the product. I'm more drawn to that than I am anything else. For one, I get a direct, I mean, in many cases, because I go to a lot of these shows, I get a direct conversation, eye contact, to be able to see the enthusiasm they have for their brand and their hard work. And you're just not going to get that. If you walk into an authorized dealer to buy whatever name brand luxury watch or even entry level luxury watch, you're buying the seller or the authorized dealer of that, or a gray market or the used or whatever you're buying on that. There's no connection. It's just a sale. That's all it is. You know, you're directly affecting somebody's livelihood that is the brand where it originated to. It's like direct sale from the brand. I don't know. That part really intrigues me. So that is one of the big draws I have towards microbrands. And for the most part, I can afford more of them. I do buy some of these. Some of these are, earned by me doing the video and all different variations of that scenario. A dude in his watch says that he's had a Zelos once before, not that impressed. And I get what you're saying on that. There are more impressive Zeloses over than some others. I feel like they, some of them offer a little more refinement. Some of them are a little more crude. The dive watches are going to probably be a little more crude. But like this Zelos right here is actually really cool. I do like this one. Hand wind movement. Anonymous watch guy, good point. They are directly affecting my livelihood too. I spend all my money. Yeah, there's that part too. Let's see. Nate Dog says, my wife loves her Trosca. Had it for a year. She's a teacher. No scratches. Again, Trosca with their scratch resistant coating, nice size watches, really well built, great timekeeping, great watches. And then there's brands that I don't even know about, like Carl's saying, check out Walbrook watches from France. I think my buddy Tennessee Mike actually just had one of those. Jim says he emails Mike, the owner of Draken, with suggestions, and he always answers me. I don't know how some of these guys find the time to even have that level of interaction. So it's pretty amazing to me. Hey, David, checking in from Montana. That's awesome. Trosca, let's see. Trosca discontinued my white dial commuter. And again, I like it when brands will discontinue things or they do small batch offerings and then they don't make it anymore, because I am a bit of a limited edition fanboy, which is why I like I mean, if you look at my watches, I have quite a few limited edition watches. Like this is a one of one, either limited edition, or if I know they're going to be discontinued, I'll try to snag them up. Or if I know that they are going to be difficult to get. I mean, as silly as it is, like the Janot watch, great watch, right? But they hold their value. So like even on the used market, you're talking $800-900, and there's like a waiting list to get them. So you place your order and then you wait. So I think that's pretty cool. You'll get one eventually, but it takes a while. Somebody asked, is Islander watch a micro brand? I think right now I would say yes, because it's pretty much just Mark. Obviously, he has a couple of people involved with the whole process, but it's pretty much Mark. The only weird caveat that Islander Watch has is they already had a customer base. They already had like kind of like the understanding of how to market the watch, what what watch enthusiasts wanted, and they were able to like capitalize on that at a time that was like perfect, because it was right about the time, depending on how long you've been in this hobby. Back in the day, you used to be able to buy Seiko SKXs and Monsters and stuff like that for well under the $200 price point. In some cases, all the way down to like just over $100. Well, Seiko revamped. They changed all of their pricing structures, and Brave Sailor, actually kind of a good point. Long Island or Islander watch could be potentially is like a a, a watch fan service style. It's still a micro brand, I think, but it's an interesting way that it came about, because there was already the ability to have like an up and running storefront because it already existed. And he already had all the contacts, all that stuff. Rob, do you have the notice sector deep there on the desk? I do. It's right here. I think you would like this watch, David. It's an interesting Destro style watch. Yes, a dude in his watch. 100% agree with you. Some micros I just can't get with the name, like Pitzman, he says. And I was that way. Even like when I first heard of Trosca, I was just like, that is not the name I would have used, because you got to say it right, or it like could come across weird. But the longer I've been around it, the more I see them, and then when I say them, like it becomes normal and I like it. I can't imagine it being called anything else. Uh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm not a huge fan of brands where they actually use like the full name, like Christopher Ward. And now, or well, even Jack Mason. And I hate to pick on both those guys, but like, who's Christopher Ward? Like, I don't really care who Christopher Ward is, right? I don't really care who Jack Mason is. I understand like they might have brand heritage tied to it and everything like that, but it's weird to me to have a watch with like a full name. Like, I would rather see Raven or Notice or Janot, or even NTH is fine. It's abbreviated, or Dryden or Folia, or Draken or Vario. Richard Harvey. That's another one where it's two names, but there's a reason why he did that. So, but if you have to explain it instead of it, I mean, most people don't want names explained. Fortis, um, Zodiac, Unimatic, Zin, Seiko. Like, I'm not a big fan of having to like explain the name. RZE. I don't even know what RZE stands for, but it's three letters. I can remember it. I'm fine with it. I don't need an explanation. So exactly, Johnson Seiko says Zelos is a good name. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. I don't really care. It took me a while to understand how to even say it, because I was calling it Zelos, and that was partly because um, Elshin had reps at the Microlux in 2018, And I asked them how to say it, and they told me Zelos. But then Dane, my buddy Dane, who's in the chat, Celine Driver, Anonymous Watch Guy says RZE used to be Reese. Okay. But RZE is better. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of RZE. Squale, Squale, whatever you want to call it. Did you show the Zelos MOP? This one. You're talking about this one? The Mosaic, Mother of Pearl. A dude in his watch says, I do not get the hype with Ming. The designs are boring. I think the designs are pretty killer. I wouldn't buy one or wear one, but I do I do think they're pretty cool looking. So this is really cool looking too. It's very interesting that Zelos or Elshin decided to do this, because when you look at this dial up close, it is rough. It is very rough looking. All of the edges are rough. Like it's incredible that they decided to like go for it, because at a regular eyesight distance with this dial is, yeah, 100%. It's mesmerizing, exactly what the big wrist said, and it's beautiful. But when you look up close, you're like, wow, these are literally just like shards of mother of pearl placed together in a mosaic pattern, tried to fit as tight as possible and look as good as possible. And they pulled it off. But when you look up close, like I had that sense, I'm like, man, I could see where they were probably started with this and they almost were like, never mind, we're not going to do it. But they decided to do it anyway, and I'm glad they did. I don't know if they actually thought that, but that's what I thought when I looked at it. They have the teal version in my basket. Oh, nice. That or Alpinus Ginza. You can't go wrong with a Seiko Alpinus, that's for sure. Good evening, Rob. Have heard of make called you almost got me on that one. That actually might be a real watch. You might be messing with me, but that actually might be a real watch. I wish Alpina made smaller watches. The name isn't horrible. Yeah, Alpina's a good name. Yeah, Formex is a little weird. I remember reading all the comments when I first showed the Formex. I don't think I have a Formex here right now. Here's an Alpina. I know it's not independent or Microbrand, but somebody brought it up, so. Blue watch with brown strap, middle left. I think you're referring to this one. I could be wrong, but this is a Richard Harvey. This one's called the Patriot. He has two different colorways of this. The other one's all black with like monochromatic grayish, print tones and everything to it. Very cool brand, very cool watch. Definitely check it out. I have a video of it. Just search Richard Harvey watch and it'll pop up. Yep, excellent watch. And if I remember right, they're pretty affordable, but this dial is just so cool. The crown, accessing the crown, a little tricky. I mean, it's not impossible because this bridge is permanent. Let's see, what would be the thinnest micro you've come across? I don't know. This Zelos is pretty thin because it's hand wound. I don't know if there's one thinner. There might be in a Microbrand, but that one's pretty thin. Will Rizzo says puke. We don't talk about MVMT or... Okay, you guys are talking about weird brands. Monta thin at 10 mil. Trosca is thin. I might have to wear this one again. It looks like titanium. It is actually stainless steel, but he just kind of like finished it, so it's kind of rough and tough looking. Yeah, this thing's really cool. It's just, it takes a little getting used to manipulating the crown. Even like right now, it takes me a minute to like, or a few seconds, not really a minute, to get the crown screwed back down. Now, my caliper battery died, but let me check the thickness on this Zelos. So it's about 9 millimeter. So this is about 9 millimeter, but it has a slightly boxed sapphire crystal. So this thing is 9 mil as is. Pretty dang thin. Yeah, thin for a Zelos for sure. I like the Bell and Ross radar. Oh, the Bell and Ross radar is really cool. Yeah, this one's kind of got like the altitude or altimeter attitude type gauge thing going on. That's this, the yellow thing. I think it's called the attitude meter. Oh yeah, the SWCs, the Swiss Watch Company watches are actually really thin too. I have one right here. This is a quartz one, but I think it's thicker than. Oh, it's about 9 millimeter as well. Now this one's quartz, and this one's 9 millimeter. Axios. You guys are talking about Axios. Axios watches are really cool too. Ventus sister to Zelos. So you guys are name dropping some brands that I don't have right now that I wish I did. I used to have some of them, but I got rid of them, and then I wish I would have kept them. Oh, so there's another one. Zeus said the Borealis Cascaeus. I have owned one, but it was back in the day when I would get these Microbrand watches in for video, and then I'd end up selling them or moving them on. And I regret doing that to a certain extent. I don't really like to say regret when I talk about watches buying or selling, but um, it's just something I did. Snowflake to the right would be this one, which would be the NTH. This is the NTH Nakin. I believe this was this is the watch gauge exclusive, and it has the watch gauge case back. Pretty crazy looking dial and configuration. Those are a little pricey. I think a lot of people will complain that they're a little pricey for what they are, but the redesign on them, the case with the crown guards and the crown, everything, it's really good. Wiser thin. Let's see. Remember, guys, you only have 2 wrists and 30 days. What's the orange and blue one? Okay. All right. You guys are gonna have to help me remember this. I always forget this brand because it's literally not on the watch anywhere. It's a Cuda. And let's see, Jax watches EDC with a $10 here super chat. It says, what is to the left of the Islander Pogue joined late? That would be a Borealis. I think, Jack, this was one I thought you had one of these. I toured. Okay, thank you, Anonymous Watch Guys. This is the Signum. It is titanium and it's full orange lume. It's a crazy watch. It's very cool. And it was a gift actually from my buddy Mark. It's a crazy watch. So this is the Borealis. I always forget the name of this. Excuse me. I can't remember the name of every watch. They're usually on the back, whatever it is. So yeah, Jack, I think you would like these. I thought you had one of these. I thought you tried one, but if not, let me know. I can send you one. That's all part of the me keeping all this stuff, right? Where I'm kind of doing a watch library. So what is a watch library? So, I mean, some of you guys kind of know, some of you don't know. Oh, here's the visitor too. That's down there. So I'm building up and archiving a lot of watches, a lot of Microbrands mostly. I had to take a sip. And when people that are, Greg, thank you. It's a Borealis bull shark. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, the watch library. So I have a lot of friends in my private Discord and even outside of that and everything like that. And I'll often loan them watches. They're not sure if they want to buy it or something like that. Maybe they just want to check it out for like a week or two or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Check it out for sure. So, I've done it for Tennessee Mike, I've done it for Greg, I've done it for Jack, I've done it for, a bunch of people. So, and that's something ideally I would like to expand a little bit. And for the most part, I like to do these watch meetups that when I go to, I hope to bring all or most of these watches because I think most people, whether you're in this chat or you're watching this later, you don't have access to see all these watches on a regular basis, right? So to be able to come to an event, whether it's a wind up watch show or a DC district time or a Microlex show, those are really good ways to check out the watches. But over the time, as I amass I hope it to be a large collection. I'm talking like 500, maybe to 1,000 watches or more. I mean, that's the level I'm thinking mentally here. That's what I'm thinking, right? And to be able to maybe have like a one watch meetup a year somewhere in the United States where people can come in and check out the watches and they can see a wide array of watches. So, all right, I'm going to try to answer some questions. Somebody asked what strap is on the Visitor. This is a Strap Habit orange camel. They have other colored camel watches. Dane, Celine Driver, really likes the orange camel. He told me that personally. He'll in the chat here. He's going to say he doesn't, but behind the scenes, he told me that he really likes it. But he probably won't wear one because he has an image to uphold and everything. And I get it. Not everybody can manage that. So, is the Jump Hour Popeye for sale? No. Yeah. See, Dane's got to throw up the emojis and everything. It's just an image he's trying to uphold. It's no big deal. He actually really likes the strap. I'm trying to scroll back. What's the teal colored one, Rob? Teal colored one, I think, is this one. This is the Dufresne, and there's the thumb wipe over the crystal. I know that triggers some people. And what is this? There's still a sticker on the back. We cannot have that. I must have not worn this watch yet. We have to get that off. Dufresne is actually in Texas as well, I think. There's a couple of Texas watches here. Let's see. Designed and assembled in Austin. So this is Austin, Texas. This also has a scratch-resistant coating on it. Very cool watch. So I have this. I have the Jack Mason is also from Texas. Why do I think there's like a third? Oh, the Zodiac watches. They're based out of Texas as well. I think that might be it out of Texas. Texas is kind of hopping, right? Yeah, it's a pretty cool dial. And they have some other colorways too. I just wanted this one because it popped. Nice bracelet, nice clasp. Actually has on the fly adjust too. Nice little, just push button and it goes in and out. So, kind of the real deal. Good price point too. 41 millimeter question mark. Actually, it kind of measures like 39. Yeah, like 39, really. Shawshank Redemption. Holy cow. Hey, Calico Basin's here. Seahome watches. Okay, Seahome is also in Austin. I don't have one of those. Show us your Seamaster, says Chris. Do not have a Seamaster. Thank you very much. He loves that invisible color. I gotta put a new battery in it, but I can still. It still has the marks. I can still read it. The comments are flying, guys. I'm trying to catch a few of them. Let me just start here. Is that a John Cena's caliper? Yes. What's the watch in front of the Visitor? Like this one or this one? I'll just show you both. So this is a Draken. This is a new release from Draken. I don't know if they're done doing their pre-order, but they had like 4 or 5 different configurations of this. I chose this one. Very affordable, like 350 price range. Very affordable. So that one's really cool. Cincinnati Watch Company. Again, crazy affordable, well built watch. So another really solid option here. This thing's really cool looking. I'll probably throw it on an orange camo strap or something for Celine Driver approved. Got any fairer watches in the pile? I do not. Best value titanium case, white dial far right. That would be this one. This is a Borealis Bull Shark. I actually have 3 of those sitting here, I guess. So that's all part of like being buddies with Carlos, the owner, or one of the owners of Borealis. I tend to get to be able to see a lot of different colorways even within a particular lineup. So yeah, these are all bull sharks, just different color configurations and hand configuration. Yeah, sapphire crystal on these. I don't know that there's a watch on this table without a sapphire crystal, to be honest with you. I think pretty much all of them do. Fairly certain, I'm pretty confident. Let me look. I'm looking. Yeah, I'm thinking these all have sapphire crystals. How many collabs are on the table? Collabs. Like with me, there's one. I mean, I've done this. Popeye watch, please show the close up. Oh, you want to see a close up? Boom. There's the close up. Popeye close. Let's get it running because the spinach can, I think, turns. It's not a screw down crown. Yeah, there we go. I am what I am. Yeah, there you go. You can see the spinach can turning. I think the one gripe people might have with this one is the jump hour position. When it jumps, it's when the his hands blocking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a bit of a magic show, I guess, because you don't get to really see it. It blocks it. So um, yeah, I don't know what other design they could have done with it, but that's a little weird. Let's see. Sapphire crystal and ceramic bezel seem to be a micro standard. Yeah, for the most part, you'll see some different use of materials, a lot of metals. You know, NTH uses stainless steel for their bezel inserts. Actually, I've noticed a lot of brands are migrating to like some sort of special coating on their stainless steel bezel insert or going with, just full stainless steel on their bezels. Even some aluminum, like this Draken back here, that has aluminum. But yeah, traditionally we've seen a lot of ceramic. You'll see ceramic on the pneumatic, on the Notice. Um, and then even some sapphire bezel inserts like this GMT Borealis, that's a sapphire bezel insert. Let's back up here. Max says, you may have already answered this, but what indie watch would you recommend that is a GMT? Independent or microbrand? I guess well, you know what? I just thought of something. Independent microbrand. Think about this. So not all independent watches are microbrands, but all microbrands are independents. Kind of like bourbon and whiskey sort of thing. Anyway, which independent would I recommend if you're going to exclude classifying microbrand? Then, and it depends on your watch. If we're going to count both, as good and as cool as the Miyota 9075 is, so like you could get like the Jack Mason is really cool. It actually wears really good. The bracelet taper is amazing. The clasp is good. Everything's good on this watch. I don't, quite frankly, I don't remember what the price point is. But this uses the 9075 and it works really good. So it gives you that jumping hour. Now, if you really want the jumping hour, then yeah, go with the Jack Mason or the Trosca. Okay. Now, if you are fine with the Seiko NH, we have a bunch of options. We have the RZE titanium. Love the colors of that. There's a few different awesome colors. You could go with the Draken if your wrists can support it. The Draken are great. Um, you're going to see more from Notice soon, I think, in that category. But if I had to pick one, let me think about this. I don't like picking watches. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet, because I get emails all the time, people trying to help me pick a watch for them, or have me help them have a watch picked. It's not my favorite thing to do because, as you can clearly see, I don't pick watches. I just buy them all or obtain them all in one way or another. So I'm not a big fan of selecting like one watch. So like when you say what GMT should I get that is independent or microbrand, my answer automatically is like Jack Mason, Trosca, RZ, Draken, Borealis, and I know it's not an independent, but you kind of want to throw in the Seiko. It's not the 5KX, the the SKX looking one, right? So yeah, like get them all. Like why limit to one? Like who are we kidding here? If you're watching this video, we're 47 minutes in on a live stream with a bunch of other SSK GMT. I mean, start there. Honestly, independent microbrands aside, go get the orange dial Seiko SSK. Start there and then go from there. You know, if you're legit, there's what 159 people watching right now as I spoke. 47 minutes on a live stream, basically showing static watches just sitting here with me, interacting with you guys. Fairly certain most of you guys have at least 10 watches, if not more, and are probably ready to buy a watch. I don't know, maybe tonight when you're trying to fall asleep and you got watches running through your head instead of sheep and you just can't fall asleep, and you might just buy a watch, or you might buy a new strap from Strap Habit, orange camo, just to let Dane know that, I agree, the orange camo straps are the best. So yeah, I mean, to pick one, I mean, who are we kidding here? Let's all just have a quick drink. Greg Wood just texted me. Literally, I can read his text on my screen, and he said he just bought a watch. So, Greg, why don't you jump in the chat here, and why don't you tell everybody what watch you just bought? You guys are all sick. You guys are all sick, and I'm sick with you. See, the Watch Lounge says he's buying another Zin 104. Greg, or Chris, I love it, man. White dial, clean, leather strap. I didn't even go for the bracelet this time. I bought this one off Joe Smoke, who was in the Discord. Hooked me up. I wore this thing for the last couple days. Yeah. I don't know. Screw it, guys. If you're in the chat, go buy a watch. Who cares? Even if you just pop on Amazon and buy a 5600 G-Shock, or buy a Chrono said he just rebought the same watch I just showed, the Zin 104 white dial. Third time he's bought the watch. Maybe keep it this time, Chrono. Bought my one watch in process. JC says my wife cares. Nah, she ain't gonna care if you buy. I don't go buy a San Martin. They're like $200. How can anybody get mad at that? I mean, if you're into watches and $200 can't just like poof be gone, I get it. It's fine. Why don't you pick up a World Timer? I knew you were the one that bought it. Daniel, I knew you were the one that bought the. That was a good price on that Olik and Waz. Okay, how about this? Go pick up a World Timer. Even if you hate it, just give it a try. Then we can mod it, because I'm going to do some more mods of these too. This one on my left, this is my personal build. I forget what SKX mods, strap, case combo. I did the color mod. This one on my right is actually going to Daniel, Brave Sailor. I was going to ship it, but he said just wait, because we're going to be at the end of the month. We're going to be at the Cool. Max just got one of these for Xmas. Now, Max, since you already have one, now go over to SKX Mods, buy a strap, buy a case. Let's mod this thing. Let's turn this very affordable $20 watch into a very ridiculous, $200 or $250 watch. Let's level up. Okay, let's do this. I get nothing for that either. It's cool. Let's see. Greg Wood sent me a picture. I can't zoom in, but I think. Let's see. Where is it? I cannot zoom in on what Greg bought, but I think he bought one of these or something like this. He did something like this. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. I could be wrong, but I could be right. I did hear somebody was asking me about these Zurich straps. I think these are like discontinued or something. Sean was asking what Olicon was. He picked up the P104, this guy right here. There was one of these for sale in my Discord, the Random Rob Discord. Another awesome guy on there was selling it for I don't want to say killer deal, but it was a very respectable price. Like a little bit of fear of missing out was in that price, right? Yeah, the Olicon Waz went quick. So, yeah, $830. Let me tell you this, Daniel. Pretty sure I paid more and I got hooked up from an authorized dealer. So buying that, I call it the old Licky because Calico called it the old Licky. Buying that old Licky P104 at 830, you did well. You did a good job. All right, we're having some fun. Let's see. That was a nice buy. Yes, Nitmo. Is that a micro? Kind of an independent. That one needs a lume shot. The Olicki lume is actually pretty terrible. It's not good. But I don't care. I like this watch so much that I really don't care. How's the quality on the Jack Mason? All right, let's answer that because we're talking Microbrands. Let's talk about that because Broke Watch Fanatic, I've spent some time with this. Greg Wood says, put my glasses on. There's too much going on, Greg. I can't. It was a small picture. So finishing on it, incredible. Case design, incredible. This particular colorway, I do really like this one. And Peter, my main contact over there, was waiting for this one to come out to send to me because it has the nice splash of orange. Everybody thinks I like orange. I don't know why. I don't know. People just get it in their heads and it is what it is. The weight and flow of the bracelet, phenomenal, right? So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 link bracelet, polished centers, very well done, high quality, quick release spring bars, display case back showing off the 9075 Miota. Nice, thin, smooth clasp. Very sleek, very smooth, refined. And then it has the on the fly quick adjust here where you can just kind of, now that part's a little gritty feeling, but it works fine. I legitimately have no complaints with this watch. The lume is good. It has bi-directional, nice clicks to the bezel. Big clasp, meaning somebody said big clasp, meaning that it's fairly long. So if you have a really small wrist, it might be an issue for you. It is not for me. It is not for me at all, as I have no problems with it. But I have a 7¼ inch wrist, and it's fairly flat on the top and the bottom, so I have no problem with that. If you have a smaller wrist, I would say, if you start getting into under the 6¾ inch wrist, that clasp could potentially be an issue for you. But other than that, I think it's a really well done watch. There's a lot of little details that really shine. I think I posted a video of that watch already. Love it, but the hands are a tiny bit small. I think they're They look fine to me. I don't know. Let's see. It's very thin, which kind of makes up for it. Yeah, the clasp is really thin. So Kevin at 6.25 inch wrist. I don't know. It might be a problem for you. Max says, "What do you think of the Zurich fidget spinner watches? Is it a gimmick?" Yes, it is a gimmick, but it's kind of a cool gimmick. I think Zurich makes some very interesting, fun watches. Am I gonna go buy one and wear one? No. I don't even know if I have one. I think I have that one world one, but they sent it to me and the rotor was broken off. It was a screw had broken off in there. It wasn't something I was gonna fix. So John Page joining a little bit late, no problem. We got a few minutes left. Uh, it's too late now. You like orange and yellow and browns. Those are fairly accurate. I do. I like color, right? I like color. Most of my watches are not mundane in the sense that um, they're basic or whatever. So, like you, like the most basic one I probably have is actually probably this one right here. I might have a few more, but is the Scurfa, and I really don't wear it a lot, but it is titanium, so that kind of makes up for it. Other than that, most of them have some sort of pop, something to kind of set them off. They're not just ordinary. Thanks, Dane, for the 2-minute warning. What do you think of the Christopher Ward Trident 300? I think those are great value options. A lot of nice color on the table. Is anyone else excited about the new Black Bay 41? I am. I hope to see one. I don't know that I'll buy one. Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Rob, on your opinion on the Kermit Pro Pilot X. That's super fun. That green is perfect for a Kermit watch. And titanium, in-house movement. Actually has a Kermit that shows up in the date window on the 1 o'clock. Very cool. Very fun watch. I'm not going to drop coin for it, but I think it's really cool that they did it. Tennessee Mike says, I think if you stay in the hobby a while, you end up migrating towards different color watches. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think you need something that stands out, whether it's, you know, a special movement or a special case or, um, a pop of color or the combination of all those things. If you're going to stay in the affordable range where I am for sure, and a lot of you guys are, then you start to like branch out and you might do some kind of questionable things, like where you throw an already pretty unique case design, Visitor Dune Shore, and then you throw an orange camel strap on it. That's a bit of a stretch. I can see that. I can see this is a bit much for most people. They're not going to pallet this. They're not going to go. They're not going to go this route. I get it. Um, I will go this route. I almost dropped it. Thank God I didn't. You know what? If I would have dropped this, I would have literally just went and bought another one because I like it that much. Um, I love wearing this thing. Absolute game changer. 100%. I don't know why, but my point here is if you guys have a watch that you've been wearing and you're like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right, but you like the watch, throw a different strap onto the watch. Try a leather strap, an FKM rubber, a NATO if that's your thing. Try a different strap. It might change the way you like the watch. It might make all the difference. That was the case for that. I did really like, I don't know where it's at. I like the rubber strap that it came on. I even like the blue ostrich strap. But I put it on that FKM. Game changer. Love it. I could put it on a black FKM rubber. But who we kidding? You guys say I like orange, so there must be something to that. I'm investigating that. Everybody says I like orange watches or straps or something like that. So I'm just looking into it. That's it. I don't think you guys are correct. I don't know if you're you know, trying to force me into something, but I'm looking into it. Okay. Let's kill the lights. Let's check the lume. Put it on a blue FKM. No, because then no, that's Florida Gators. That's you, Dane. You buy that watch and you put it on the blue. They do have a nice blue strap as well. Are RZE watches overpriced? No, no, God no. What are these, like $500? This thing is insane. It has a scratch resistant coating on it, a really good bracelet, a kind of run of the mill clasp, but a nice taper. Personally, I don't have a problem with these clasps. I wish they would have went with a bidirectional bezel on this. It is just one direction. It is not bidirection. I actually kind of dig that the font on the bezel is actually kind of like cartoonish looking. I dig it. Nice oversized crown. Love the titanium. Love the medallion colorway on these. They have some other cool colors too, but the medallion colorway is hands down my favorite pick. Color match date wheel. I think for what these offer in the $500 price point, awesome watches. Not overpriced at all. Okay, let's kill the lights, check the lume. Guys, here's that Signum. The lume alone is almost enough to be buying Microbrand. Literally every Microbrand on here. I mean, look at the full lume dial on that Fair and Sweat. Incredible. The lume is nuts. The lume is nuts. That's literally almost enough reason alone just to buy Microbrand. You're not going to get this level of awesome lume out of a lot of the luxury and entry level luxury watches. You're just not. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next vid.